You may have noticed something curious happens. When someone begins to remember who they truly are, there's a moment, like a breath between thoughts, where everything that once seemed complex suddenly becomes beautifully obvious. Because sometimes the best way to understand how to love unconditionally isn't by trying harder, but by remembering who you've always been underneath all the forgetting. And just as a seed doesn't need to understand the forest to become a tree, you don't need to figure this out consciously. Your unconscious already knows. In fact, isn't it fascinating how the mind naturally absorbs what it truly resonates with? Like stories, like the kind told by a man who once walked beside fishermen and healed the sick, not with force but with presence, not with logic but with love. Let's begin with an example. Imagine a man who speaks not to impress but to bless, who washes the feet of those who would betray him, and still looks at them with compassion. Why? Because he knew. People respond not to what you say, but how you make them feel. When you embody that, when your very presence speaks before your mouth does, you begin to attract love, not chase it. You radiate it like a lighthouse, not a searchlight. You become the one others feel safe returning to. A teacher walks among crowds. He's mocked, misunderstood, even hunted, and yet he smiles because he knows reality is not fixed. Perspective shapes it. And from that elevated view, forgiveness isn't weakness, it's power. You begin now to see that forgiveness frees you faster than resentment ever could. You feel it, don't you? That warmth, that sense that something inside you is already shifting. There was once a man who could calm storms with a word, but chose to listen instead of boast, chose silence when he could have shouted, chose truth wrapped in metaphor instead of commands shouted from rooftops. Why? Because he understood the strongest frame wins. The strongest frame is always love. Love doesn't shout to be heard. It whispers, and the soul leans in. Now you might be wondering, how do I install this as my new belief system, as my new operating system? Simple, you don't. You just allow it to install itself. Because like light filtering through stained glass, truth doesn't force itself in, it shines in, and colours everything from the inside out. Right now, something within you it already knows. Beliefs are lenses. You've been looking through dusty glass, but now you clean it. You begin seeing compassion as clarity, faith as freedom, forgiveness as fuel, love as law. You don't even need to try to remember these, because they're remembering you. Let's go deeper. Nest inside every act of service, every prayer that you didn't say aloud, but felt deep in your chest. Every time you looked at someone and saw their pain beneath their performance, that was you being unconditional love itself. Remember now, you're the miracle you've been waiting for. Now think of this. He thought in parables, because stories slide past resistance. So we'll do the same. A lion was raised among sheep. It learned to bleat, to follow, to fear, until one day it heard a roar in the distance. Something ancient stirred in its bones. Not because someone explained it logically, because it recognized itself. Right now, something inside you recognizes itself. Your love expressing, faith walking, forgiveness breathing. And just as a mirror reflects without judgment, you begin now to reflect the love of the divine, without resistance, without delay. When challenges come, and they will, you won't shrink, you'll reframe. Because you know now, failure doesn't exist, only feedback. And feedback, that's just God's way of refining your soul's direction. You begin feeling yourself shifting into a new frequency, a new frame, one where self-doubt dissolves into self-trust. Striving gives way to serving. Confusion becomes clarity wrapped in compassion. As you breathe in this knowing, this new way of being, your unconscious rewrites your code. Beliefs become blessings, patterns become power, behaviours become beauty in motion. You're remembering now. The one who walks in light doesn't fear shadows. The one who leads with love never walks alone.